So I look at the new polling from Ipsos here from our good friend Cliff Young, and I see that the economy remains the top issue, followed by threats to democratic values, then corruption, political violence and extremism, and immigration. I don't see the 2020 election on here.
Yeah,
the question is, will he do damage by going there?
it's great to be here.
Thank you, sir. As
Yeah,
always.
you would expect this to be like the lazy days of summer, but they're anything but lazy, right?
Absolutely.
At this point, chock full of lots of stuff. Listen, right at this moment, Americans are focused on those most important things for them, making ends meet.
Yep.
That's what they're worried about. Those $20 turkey sandwiches and astronomical grocery bills that everyone's sort of dealing with. Those are the sorts of things people are worried about. It's a problem for the administration. It's a problem for Trump. It's a problem for Republicans. It's the critical issue of this electoral cycle, and they're on the wrong side of it. It makes sense in a conceptual sense, in a theoretical sense, that the president would want to reset things.
Yes.
But you just can't convince people that a banana is not a banana, it's a screwdriver. You're just not going to convince people of that. With the caveat that it is some red meat to throw to the base.
Okay.
They've had base issues, right?
Yep.
There's been a lot of controversy over the last little bit, especially because of Iran. A lot of more libertarian-leaning Republicans did not like it. This might shore it up a bit, because they do complain about the fact that the administration hasn't done more. But at the end of the day, Americans are worried about making ends meet.
I look at the approval ratings, and it's upper left to bottom right, not the direction you want to be going in. It's kind of like a Bitcoin chart here, and he's down to 39.9%. I'll get all kinds of bad email for saying that. I'm sorry. When you start this, though, in February of 25, Trump announces Canada-Mexico tariffs. We're way above 50%. We're above water. We're breathing air. By the time you roll through one big, beautiful bill, we're at 45%. U.S. troops capture Maduro. We're down in the low, mid-40s. U.S.-Israel joint strike on Iran, still lower. And then we crack into the 30s here as the U.S.-Iran ceasefire ends. This is officially underwater when you're below 40%, right?
Yeah, Trump and the administration and Republicans are sucking wind at this point.
Wow.
And we've talked.
It's a technical term.
It's a very technical term. It's a statistical term. No, but I'll give you a data point, an important data point, based upon a database of 1,000+ elections that we put together at Ipsos.
Yep.
We know that a sitting president at 40% approval rating has a 50-50 chance of winning the next election. Now, obviously, Trump is not going to run again.
Sure.
But it's a measure of relative power, of relative credibility. It is the inflection point. It is the tipping point, and they're below it slightly, but they're below it, and that's not a good place to be.
Boy, it's really something when we went from talking about the golden age, stock market at all-time highs. The market's actually been behaving pretty well considering the news. If that starts to break down, oil prices continue to rise, gas prices, and we see a breakdown on the markets, maybe a correction, which would not be unusual and could be provoked by any number of things, not necessarily having to do with this president. What's the residual effect on approval ratings going into November?
Yeah, I think only marginal.
Yeah.
Indeed, we have to understand that average American mom, average American dad are not looking at the stock market every day. They don't have 401k plans. They're not worried about that. Their challenge is today. Their challenge is going to the grocery store and making ends meet. Obviously, if you have a massive correction, it can only create more negative atmospherics. But ultimately, in my mind, the bad economy, the affordability crisis, is already baked into the numbers.